Evening, Western Montana. We're back with another YouTube Live as we have impactful weather in, should say, a disturbance moving through southwest Montana that is impacting the area. Now, it's not creating necessarily major impacts with heavy snow, but we are dealing with travel impacts for places around, say, Norris Hill, down towards Monida Pass, Raynolds passes, all due to the same low pressure system. So we'll give it here, say 30 seconds to a minute. We'll get fully started in this YouTube Live update. But what I will do is show you our satellite loop, which essentially shows the flow of the atmosphere and the storm system that is causing our active weather, or I'll say our winter weather, down for areas of southwest Montana. It's this low pressure system right here. So give me just a second. I'll make sure everything is working here behind the scenes, and then we'll get started with this. At least right now it does look like everything appears to be moving smoothly. So let me try just do one or two more things really quick, and then we'll fully get started with this. So just give me a minute and we'll be good to go. Getting a few things clicked here. But if you're just tuning in, certainly feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from, what kind of conditions you're seeing across the area or out your window specifically. Because it has been a day of split weather conditions. Northwest Montana, Kalispell, Libby, Eureka, we saw plenty of sunshine this afternoon. Yet areas further to the south, towards Missoula, we've been kind of that mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies, and then you get towards Butte, Bozeman, West Yellowstone, Ennis, Dillon. It's been all snow throughout the day, at least in a scattered fashion. So that's where we're continuing to roll with this system. And I'd say that's long enough. Let's get started here fully with this storm. So I'm going to jump it forward. We're going to look at those current conditions across western Montana right now, and you'll be able to see some of this snowfall that is ongoing into southwestern Montana. This is looking towards Butte. This is from the East Ridge, so you see those snowflakes moving essentially from east to west, roughly. In this camera view, we've had some gusty northeasterly winds, which have been helping to blow some of this snow around, creating some extra impacts for drifting snow and reduced visibility. Additionally, down towards Bozeman, we are still dealing with some light snow showers in the area, but it's all quiet for Kalispell and up in Missoula. Right now, we've got those temperatures northwest, west central Montana, right around 32 degrees in Kalispell, 38 for Missoula, but 29 in Butte, 31 down in Bozeman with those scattered snow showers. It is showing cloudy, but they have been moving in and out. Overall, the system is beginning to pull out of the area. We're not completely done with the moisture, but we are on the backside of the system. That said, we do still have winter weather advisories that remain in effect for all of these areas shaded in blue. This continues for about another 2 hours. They're allowed to expire at 11 p.m. tonight for our valleys, and this is for general storm totals. Up to 3 inches expected within our valley areas in this advisory area through 11 p.m. In addition to what's already fallen. Passes about 3 to 7 inches total, and I think now that we are really to the backside of this system, most of these areas we're talking less than an inch of additional accumulation. But what will still keep us dealing with some travel headaches are going to be those wind gusts anywhere from 40 to nearly 50 miles per hour, and what snow has already fallen, that could be blown across area roads, quickly reducing visibility to near whiteout conditions, but also just creating icy spots on those roads. That's one issue we were dealing with earlier on today towards Raynolds Pass there west of West Yellowstone, and we're still dealing with some of those issues. I'm just going to look at the MDT 511 map here really quick on my other screen, and overall we're looking from this is on Interstate 15 from Monida Pass up to Clark Canyon Reservoir. We're looking at scattered frost and ice. So at least some minor travel impacts there. From Reynolds Pass upwards to near the Cameron area on US 287. Same conditions, frost and ice, though snow and ice for both Reynolds and Targhee passes. That's where we were dealing with those reduced visibilities earlier on in the day. Let's go up to US 191, so north of West Yellowstone, really say about 15 to 20 miles north and south of Big Skies, where we're dealing with some of that scattered frost and ice. Then we get further north of Ennis, and this is back to 287. This is where we are seeing those worst conditions right now. As snow continues, chains are required for Norris Hill, required for towing units, I should be more specific on that. That continues now as more of these snow showers are moving through the area, but those snow, frost, and ice conditions on 287 continue north up through Harrison, up in the direction of towards Whitehall as well, but Interstate 90 itself, we're just looking at dry conditions. And then from Norris Hill east towards, back towards Four Corners and Bozeman, more of that scattered snow and ice. And that continues over Bozeman Pass on Interstate 90, at least from Bozeman east. And then by the time you get into Livingston, we've transitioned over to a little bit more in the way of wet and slushy roads. But further east from there, do you have any travel plans or know people that are traveling from, say, Livingston over to Big Timber? That's where we go back to the snow and ice with and more of the impacts right now, continuing that direction towards Big Timber, Red Lodge, and areas there south and west of Billings. Overall, the trend, though, is going to be a quieting one for our region. Let's see, two other places. Snow got a little bit further north over towards Butte, but Elk Park over towards Boulder and Clancy, same type of story. Scattered snow and ice. McDonald Pass, the same story as well. So in general, from that line from about McDonald Pass down to Butte and over to Lost Trail Pass, that's kind of our line, and then south and east from there is where we're dealing with the snow right now. But overall, like I said, the trend is a diminishing one, and we'll look at Future Tracker here in just a moment. I believe it's the next second graphic right after this. Overall, you're not seeing a whole lot here on radar. This is our live radar. If you've been with me on any of these lives, I've told you about the dreaded radar hole down here from Butte and Bozeman areas south. There is snow ongoing down here. You just can't see it, or better yet, the radar can't see it. But it is ongoing. We will continue to see those snow showers for the next little bit. But you look back off to the east, and I was mentioning places like Red Lodge. That's where we are dealing with the snow continuing back up here towards Big Timber. So this is the zone where most of Montana's snowfall is right now. But you see more of this back down here into Idaho. Same thing if you have travel plans on Interstate 15. Tomorrow morning, say from Dillon down through Idaho Falls, Pocatello, even down into the Wasatch Front of Utah. Could be dealing with some slick roads into tomorrow morning, but improvements will be going on there as well as the system begins to clear most of the west as we go throughout the overnight and morning period. Future Tracker's done a pretty good job picking up on this zone of moisture. Very spotty in nature, though a little bit heavier back here towards Billings, south of Billings, Red Lodge area. But notice as we go throughout the rest of the night, by 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, other than a few high elevation showers, I think we are done with the snowfall from this storm system. And by sunrise, this is looking into, say, 7, 8 o'clock, you see plenty of gaps in those clouds. We could be talking partly to mostly cloudy skies down in southwest Montana. I think northwest Montana, we could be talking mostly clear conditions. And that's only going to improve as we go throughout the day. Again, few showers trying to pop up in the higher elevations of, say, like the Tobacco Root Mountains, back over here towards the Beartooth and Absaroka Mountains, and then further south into Yellowstone National Park. Even trying to indicate maybe a few up here towards Glacier National Park, the Missions, and the Rattlesnake Mountains. Not fully convinced we will see that, but with some clouds in the area, I think still partly cloudy skies. Can't rule out a few of those through tomorrow afternoon. But really, those kind of conditions are going to be sticking around into Saturday as high pressure continues to build. Now, looking at those temperatures for tonight, I do want to bring up one point with this. We're talking temperatures in the teens and 20s for all of western Montana. Down here where we have seen the snow already, places I'm talking about like Interstate 90, in Butte, Bozeman, Dillon proper, where we have seen a little bit of that snow melt with the temperatures falling well below freezing. We could see a few areas ice up again on the roads, the sidewalks tomorrow morning. So I'm not expecting widespread impact from this refreeze, but a few icy spots certainly will be there. And then we'll continue to see that snow that has already fallen staying over those mountain passes specifically, but staying on the roads in southwest Montana as well. So that will continue to keep those travel impacts on the low to moderate side at times. But again, places where we haven't dealt with the moisture today, we're going to be looking at quiet conditions. And that continues, again, not only for tonight and tomorrow, but all the way through the weekend. And that's what we're tracking, is a building ridge of high pressure that's really going to center over our region Saturday and into Sunday. We're talking a second weekend in a row of spring-like warmth, calm conditions, temperatures anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees above average for this time of the year. So it's going to be another beautiful weekend to get out outdoors, go and enjoy. Certainly if you're out and having a good time, you take a couple of photos. Certainly feel free to share those with us at nbcmontana.com/chime in. So essentially, just let us know how you're going to enjoy the warmer weather. And that said, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask those in the chat section. I didn't bring that up until I haven't brought that up for a little while, but certainly feel free to ask those as we go. As for what those temperatures will be, at least the forecast for them, again, 5 to 10 degrees above average, but here's a look at those temperatures in more detail, or more specifics. We'll just go with that. Mid to upper 40s to low 50s for Saturday. Looking at Missoula at 49, Kalispell at 50, 48 in Butte, 46 in Bozeman. Those low temperatures dropping back down into the 20s into Sunday morning. But Sunday likely will be the warmest day of the weekend, but likely the warmest day of the next 7 days as well. We're talking most areas low to mid 50s for Sunday afternoon. Mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, though one note towards Kalispell. We could start to see an increase in cloud cover Sunday as our next storm system approaches, and that will be arriving for Kalispell maybe even as early as late Sunday night, but more likely into Monday. And that's going to lead us to this next graphic showing those precipitation chances. High pressure and control Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. No, at least for our valleys, not expecting any kind of precipitation. But then we get into Monday and Tuesday, and here comes that next wave of moisture. And this was the last graphic I have, but I am going to go and grab one more just to kind of give you a sense of what we'll be looking at for this next storm system. And this is looking at our regional travel tracker. You see this storm starting to roll into Oregon and Washington. It's going to slowly sag its way across into northwest Montana late Sunday night and into Monday. And this is looking around sunrise on Monday morning. Kalispell could be a bit of a soggy one to start the day. That continues into Missoula by about midday. And you notice those temperatures, 47 and 50, were still above average, so we're likely looking at valley rain and mountain snow to start. Snow levels probably closer to pass level, maybe just a little bit below pass level. So say 4,500 to 5,000 feet. This will stay this way from that first wave of moisture, but then we get a second one that pushes into the area on Tuesday. And in the morning hours, there could be enough cold air that brings those snow levels all the way down to valley floors for Tuesday as well as Wednesday. And to start, this will be a northwest, west central Montana type of system. But you notice by the time we get to the afternoon of Tuesday, Butte, Bozeman, Dillon, all getting involved with this, at least in a scattered nature as well. Maybe still the greatest coverage will be west of the divide. That continues into the first part of Wednesday, a little bit of a break, but here comes the next wave. This is looking into Wednesday afternoon, and this is where this particular model runs out. But you see that widespread swath of rain and snow that's pretty much encompassing all of Washington, all of Oregon, and much of Idaho. So if that continues that progress, that march off to the north and east, that'll likely bring us at least our next chance of, or our best chance of, say, a stronger system for the middle parts of next week. Models are still diverging quite significantly. This is just one model run. Others are showing more of a split flow where you have a lot of the moisture riding north of our area and south of our area, and we're just kind of, I'll call it, we're getting the dregs of the moisture that's involved with that storm system. That's really what's going to happen Monday and Tuesday. We'll just have to see what the Wednesday, Thursday storm does. But we have plenty of time to watch that again. Thursday, it's a week away. Temperatures likely still will be remaining above average, though. That's one thing that we're getting into at this point. Morning hours, we'll see those snow levels closer to valley floors. That's when we could pick up some of that accumulation. But I think in getting really moving forward, typical spring pattern where you start seeing you have those morning snow showers that transition over to rain. And if you do see any snow accumulation, in a lot of cases, unless you get a lot of it really fast or those temperatures stay down for a day or two, it mostly will melt off by the afternoon. Something we'll certainly have to just kind of watch and see as we get to it. But just be prepared. Enjoy this weekend. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Go out and enjoy it. Then we get into next week, and likely we're entering into another active period of weather. So it's really just a short break with the mild, calm conditions. One other note, and I don't have a graphic for this right now, don't forget about the time change. That takes place on Sunday morning at 2 a.m. We spring forward an hour, so we will lose that hour of sleep, but what we will gain is an hour of daylight in the evening. And again, another one of those, if you've watched these with me before, and I've talked about it, I am a daylight lover. Give me all the sunshine in the evening, and I am a very happy camper. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to the time change? Just kind of a curiosity question. Again, feel free to answer that in the chat section if you'd like. But this is sort of that last call for questions before I am going to start wrapping this up. But as I do so, certainly tune into our live broadcast tonight at 10 o'clock. We'll have the latest news and weather updates. And then, of course, tomorrow morning, join Jason Hurst and forecaster Brianna Henderson, who will be in for Chief Meteorologist Brooke Foster from 5 to 7 a.m. on NBC Montana today. Overall, again, I think by tomorrow morning, there will still likely be a few travel impacts, especially over passes in southwest Montana. But the level of those travel impacts will really start to diminish as we get into, say, the mid-morning, and especially for the afternoon as that ridge of high pressure begins to build, and we look at some very nice conditions starting Friday, but mostly into Saturday and Sunday ahead of that next storm system for early next week. I think with that, I'm going to wrap it up for now. I'll likely be on for another YouTube Live tomorrow evening at some point. Likely it'll be a lot quicker just because weather's going to be very quiet in comparison. We had some active weather to talk about tonight. So thank you all for tuning in. Have a great evening. Stay warm, stay safe, and I will see you all on the next one. With NBC Montana, I'm meteorologist Mitchell Coombs.